Okay, so first of all, welcome. This is Jay. For who doesn't know me, I trade stock market since 1999. I'm based over here in the Republic of San Marino. Uh, Thank you for coming today. We're gonna record this because a lot of traders they ask me questions, so I'm gonna go over not only the process, the setups, the trades that five of the traders that in these years have passed the seven figures. So I'm talking about $1 million in profits realized in trading. So first of all, I want to say a few things. We are a trading room where we trade every single day. We don't simply give alerts, but we also explain a precise strategy. And I'm gonna go further in this today. So you're gonna learn exactly what to do from tomorrow. First of all, I want to tell you that the system that we've built is something incredible. We're working very hard because we created what you see over here and a system that has been automated now with alerts. And we're going to connect these alerts with Discord and Telegram. Okay, so I have coders right now working on it. The system is based on setup recognition, and it's a framework that I would say combines trend recognition, mean reversal play, and also multi-time confluence. It takes also into account the manipulation. So when traders tell me, "Oh, it's just an indicator," no, it's not an indicator. It's I would say a complete decision-making engine, and that's the most important. It was designed for traders, real traders, day traders mostly, but also you can use it for swing. And traders that I believe find consistency, that need to find consistency, because a lot of traders know how to trade maybe, but sometimes you miss that a little bit of confidence to enter into the trade. And that is exactly why you will see now today some examples. Um, for years, we have traded patterns. We have a trading room since 2017, since my friend and mentor Smash the Bid helped me to put it up. But personally, I was trading European stocks and futures much time ago. And what I can tell is that we have been tracking the market, we've been testing the market. So unless somebody shows you not really a proven track record, but a proven back testing with no, I would say, a real back testing method. Okay, so using Python, no overfitting and all. So you can reach out if you need further information on how to back test. Then your system won't be valid because maybe you have a system that is good in a bull market, like a lot of swing traders. But for example, bull 2020, 2025 are amazing bull markets. Okay, 2021, 2022. If you would have traded the same setups that we're trading right now, 2025, you probably won't be like profit at all. So that's the reason why a lot of swing traders for a couple of years they didn't trade almost anything. What I mean also is that you need a complete system that allows you also to simply cut the emotion out of the equation. Yes, it will be recorded. The result, guys, is that traders using the system, this system, are not chasing alerts because they're actually learning a precise strategy. Then they have a system that support their decision making so that they can find more confidence. So the last thing I want to tell you that we built this also considering one important factor is the volume, but not simply volume considering, the bars over here, how much volume was traded in that 1 hour, 30 minutes, 5 minutes, or whatever time frame you choose. But it considers the liquidity shifts, the liquidity trap, the manipulation, the volatility phases, and also the structural rotation in real time. Okay, first of all, I want to tell you how it's built. This is the most important thing, so follow me. They're very simple indicators, but put them all together with the setup, okay? We're talking about chart pattern setups and liquidity. All together, they form the strategy. So what you see over here on the chart are simply Camarilla pivot points on this hourly chart. This is a 9 and 20 EMA, okay, exponential moving average band. And this blue one, the red one is not important, but it's a 50 MA. The blue one is a 72 and 89. Okay, so we're talking about expansion Fibonacci numbers, EMA. What you see on the right instead, and I'm not only using a 5 minutes and an hourly, but also I'm using 15 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, also daily. But on the 5 minutes, I would say the most important is the black line, which is a 200 exponential moving average. The red is the VWAP, so always consider what the market is doing. And then we have three bands over here, this deep blue, the second blue, and the third blue. So these are called JLINES, essentially are base Fibonacci numbers, EMAs, and you will see how they repeat over time. So today I took not, the best trade to show you, oh, the system performs. You can simply use a free trial in the room. You have like 1 free week, or see, the job that we did like in the last 8 years. And you see that this system is producing numbers over and over. As I said, in the last 7 years that we have a room, we had 5 traders crossing the 1 million in profits. Some had a 100K account, so some started with a less than 30K account. What is important? A few things before I go into the system and the examples. First of all, it's not only about the system, it's also how you manage your trading. And I would say that we have a list, okay, before you trade. The first thing I always say to the traders that I mentor, what is the setup that you're trading? Is the setup correct? Because before you trade, you have to consider the setup. The second thing is a good play in terms of, am I revenging? Do I have FOMO, or is a correct play to trade? So you have like to, I would say, allow, okay, your decision making to be right and also critical with yourself. You cannot simply think, okay, this is a setup because I want to make money. Okay, I'm entering into the trade. The third thing is that you have to grade your trade. So according to the setup that you have, you can have an A plus setup, an A setup, a B setup, a C setup. So anything below A setup, I won't be trading. So I'm trading only A plus setup and A setup. So the system that we are like made automated over here, it's a system that only trades A plus and A setup. So it doesn't really allow you to trade B setups, C setups, or more. That doesn't mean they won't be profitable, but you want to have the best chance of success with the first one. When you enter a trade, okay, so after you've done this, there are a few more questions. Where should I put a stop? How much I'm going to risk? Where is my exit? And what I have to do in case of a mean reversal play. Mean reversal play is, you'll see some examples today, when you think everything is going, for example, bullish, like bull market, and suddenly the market shift, maybe a news, Trump tweets something, and then the market like gets burned and goes against you. Okay, so this is the plan. Now I want to go over the trades, the quality trades that we've been taking. And this, my student over here, we're gonna have probably in the next weeks. So I'm trying to get 2 or 3 traders that cross the 7 figures to make also a podcast. So present themselves, but not everybody wants to be like under the lights, and I respect that. But anyways, I'm gonna show you what we're looking over here. So we've been saying that the first thing that I'm looking in a system is a support, a resistance, so a pattern, okay? Generally, we're looking to support when we have a bounce, and a resistance when you have a rejection. So support means that we're going to look for a possible play. This band is very important. The 9 and 20 band on an hourly chart, also used on the daily, but on the hourly chart, is like the level we want to see the price bouncing from in order to take a long play. Let's go into over here. And this was a day. This was the 26th of September. The system works from 9:30 on stocks and futures, New York time. Okay, so for those in Italy, Rome, Berlin, that's 3:30 p.m. So when the price, you can see over here, gets to this band blue or this band green, okay, so the blue, remember, 72.99, and the green is a 920 EMA, I'm looking for potential bounce. That's one of the 3 scenarios where I'm looking for a trade, where we're looking for a trade. So this trader, but I can say these traders that basically traded mainly big caps and something on options as well to have those performance. They chose 3 types of setups that I will write over here. So the first one is bounce from hourly 920 and 72 and 89 EMA. Okay. The second is a gap up. So a bounce above previous day range. Okay. So previous day range means, let's say the range of Friday was 21 and 23. If Monday is 23 and 15, that's above the previous trading range. The third one, and this is particularly for me important, is if you have a strong news catalyst. This could be like, a Trump tweet. In that case, it will simply like, erase all the technicals because probably we have like, some news that can simply move the market. Remember when we have like the rates, rates for the Europe or rates for China. Okay, so these are the three main scenarios. Okay, three main scenarios where we'll look for stock plays or future plays or crypto plays or forex plays because the system works also into forex. And this is the zone over here that we were actually looking for a play long. So you can see over here in the morning, okay, this is 9:30 on a 5-minute chart. This 9:30, what it means? It means that the price opens and you can see the volume right away pushing. You will see these green bars that tell you, okay, you can see over here, this is called swing Jtrader buy because often these green bars will give you or an intraday move or a swing move. Now, what we're doing over here is not only to have, a green line that appears on the chart, but also an alert that you receive on Discord and Telegram telling you the setup that is giving. And also, if you see over here where is written forecast, in the morning, 9:30, you will have the system telling you long setup, okay? According to the setup that you have, you will see the system that tells you, okay, which setup to trade, buy, short, etc. So when we have this first bar over here, we're longing on the completion of this bar, risking below, and then we're looking for a trail that will generally happen with the 1 minute, 9 and 20 EMA. So this band that you can see over here, blue. Now I want to get into, the execution of these trades, of how we did it. This is 9:30. So these trades were shared in the exact moment that we are taking the trades. And this is the buy that we got on that bar. So you can see that while this bar over here is a 5-minute bars, okay? So I close over here with 21:04:03. We got in on the close of the first 1-minute bar. So we saw the 5 minutes starting to push, was already 20.75, bouncing from that hourly. Okay, we already got in over here, taking this long play with the risk over here below JLINES. And then we sold a partial over here. Okay, so you can see it was a resistance. And then we got in long again with much bigger size at 21.38 and ride this all the way up. And you can see over here, we sold into this liquidity. So this is an example of a stock that didn't actually move a lot. And I want to show you this because it's easy, to show plays that we'll see others that you get 10, 15 points, go up like 10, 15%. But those days instead, that you have maybe a 1 or 2% or 1%, then right away it reverses. Those are the most important scenarios because you have to see how a system operates. Okay, it's very easy to simply show only the good stuff. And what we say is that this system that we're trading is not only for this bull market, but this was back tested and also was used also in bear market. So on 2021, 2022, the same system that I was using years ago, and it's very close to the system that we were using like 25 years ago when I started trading the market, Italian covered warrants, Italian stock, and European futures like FTSE, DAX, and also FIB. So the system generates over 70% win rate and had, for example, in the trade that went over 1 million, less than 20% drawdown in, I would say, in its performance. The system is very systematic. So if you trade it purely following the rules, or in this case, like the bots or the algorithms, you won't have problem to have good returns. The component that I see that is hard for traders to manage is not too much the technical part, but is the emotional part. And this also involves me. Uh, I'm not trading the same. First of all, I'm not trading full time all year. There will be times of the year that I don't trade, times that I have more time to mentor traders. So I will like step a little bit back from trading, and times where instead I feel of trading. I can tell you that personally, not every single month it will be with the same, I would say, win rate and with the same profitability. There will be months maybe that the market is bearish, market that maybe is not giving the A plus setups, or simply a moment that you're not following the system as it should be done, and you basically, maybe try one trade more, maybe you're not satisfied with the small opportunity at the day, and you try something else, and then you go into those B setups, C setup that will simply ruin your performance, ruin your account. And this happens to me every year, or happened to a lot of big traders that I know, they are friends of mine. So in this case, we can see how then the price reverse. So when we take the first trade over here, where I'm exiting the position. So we find that the best way to exit a position is using a trailing, okay? So a trailing, generally of 9 and 20 EMA on 1 and 5 minute chart, okay? It's gonna be very long if I explain all this in this webinar, but I can tell you that once we have the 1 and 5 minute band, okay, 9 and 20 EMA breaking down, then you're gonna have possibly a reversal of the play, and that's exactly where we want to exit the full position. But generally we take 33% out at 2R, 33% at 4R, and the remaining, the trailing that we explained above. What I mean about 2R, well, you should know about this, but let's make an example. So this is our stop loss. Okay, so let's calculate over here 20.50. And the entry that we had, let's say 21, okay, just to make a whole number. So we're risking 50 cents. That's our risk. So that is 1R. So in order to get out at least 33% of my position, so one third, sometimes we're going to do 1/4, but let's say one third, I'm going to go for 22. So at 22 over here, I want to get out what? At least 2R, I want to get out one third. And then at 4R, so that's going to be 23, I'm going to get out another one third. And then trailing with a 9 and 20, or in the 1 minute, or in the 5. So what we could see over here in this example is that once we got in over here, we didn't get to that 22 right away because the market, we saw like a big resistance, we started like, fading. And then once we added to our position, then we started scaling out, so selling to these partials. In this case, we took 25%, 25, 25, and then a remaining 25. But this is the process, okay? We never know how much the stock will run, but of course, you want to take some profits because this could potentially reverse like it did right now. Otherwise, if we would know, oh, it's going to go like, let's say, 23 and 50, of course, we want to hold the whole position, but it's something we cannot know because there are so many factors up here. Maybe sellers, institutionals, maybe a trap, maybe a news scam, the market reverses, and this maybe follow the market today, and so on. I want to go over what happened, for example, on Friday. This was on Friday. And again, you can see that the price over here was flat. Look over here on the left, right? So price is below the band, the JLINES over here, the blue, and the 9 and 20 EMA. So we're not taking any long positions, so we don't buy over here. But you can see, first of all, the first alert from the system. This bar over here on the hourly chart on the left is the first bar where we get the blue. So that means we get a first reversal play. This means like momentum is shifting. This is really like about momentum. It's not about a candlestick pattern. This is really volume shifting from more sellers to more buyers. Okay. This over here is a template that, for example, you can have on our website over here. So you will see this over here. This is for 1 year, you will see the template. And as I said, the bots are coming out with all this automated. So in this case, I start looking for a long position, but the system is not, I would say, declaring, is not giving you a long trade setup until we broke both lines over here. And you can see over here a very flat Okay, very flat, very narrow, very tight consolidation over here. So we're not trading this. This is what happened in pre-market, and this is exactly what happened on Friday. Friday, if you are part of the room, we called this. So you can see over here the price on the hourly, right? It came exactly to this low, to the band. Boom, system started giving the setup. So you can see over here, the first bar was not a setup. The second bar gave a long entry. We have different algos. One of the algos over here is a Diablo. At the same thing, at the same time over here, our forecast gave an entry of under over. We took the long play. Now this trade over here went from 22, our entry, until over here almost 26. So we're talking about a move. Well, this was also some pre-market, but it came over here with the move of to the top 18% in a morning, in a morning. And this was, partial of the play that we took that day. So we got in exactly what I'm telling you over here around 22. We start scaling a little bit out too early, but then 23, and then we let it run all the way up. So again, why this was a setup? Because it came one of the first scenarios. So waiting for the price into the 1920 EMA or a gap up or a strong news. In this case was a gap up, okay? So it was above the previous trading range, but also was with a strong dip into the support 1920 EMA. When you see all this, then you go to the 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and 3 minutes or 1 minute, okay? So I like to have the confluence of the system because if you have only one time frame, you won't see everything, okay? And I'm actually trying to explain that all this that we do, you can see it live, not this, 50-50 that happened. So what, for example, I share over there are setups that the traders in the room took, and some of the best traders. The system why gave over here long, because when we open, so this fraction over here, this is the play. So if you break down this 10 minutes, okay, each bar is 5 minutes, this 10 minutes, and we break it down, let's say in 1 minute bars, this is what happened in 10 minutes. This is a cup pattern. So it's called under over, okay, under the JLINES over here, over. And you can see that the JLINES is blue, this is blue, this is blue, this is red. So we never enter on the first bar because it's red in this case. We enter on this one. That's where it initiates the playbook. And then we can also buy more. The JLINES trail, and when I say the 1920 EMA, is exactly over here where it gives the exit. Or in this case, you can see the system gives the Diablo long exit. But for the exit, don't look too much at this. This is a second confirmation. We like to get out when we have this breakdown over here. Okay, we'll go over questions then, guys. I just want to share with you where some of the best trades we took came from. We're gonna go over now Tesla. I know that a lot of you, I had like a lot of requests on Tesla. And why talking about this stock? Okay, same exact play. Okay, I'm gonna share with you. This is the hourly. Okay, this is Tesla. Tesla is one of the most volatile stock. And I can tell you one thing. You see every single time that the price comes, okay, into this zone, into this zone, into this zone, into this zone, we have a bounce. Sometimes won't work because after, it's not that you will simply take the trade based on the hourly over here, but you have to have a confluence of the 5 minutes, 50 minutes, 3 minutes, okay? Where as I told you, doesn't consider only, a level of indicator, but also consider the setup, the volume in this case, where's the liquidity shift, okay, with the bars and everything, and also the manipulation. Once the price, you can see over here, okay, this is the previous day range. This is the previous day range. This is the 21st. You can see the range is this. This is the 22nd, okay? This is the 22nd. So you can see that we are above what? Above the previous day range. So remember the second scenario for the long play. And also we have over here the 9 and 20 EMA. Okay, so let's see now what happened with the system, okay, over here. So in the same moment that over here we have the dip, this is what happened in the morning. So we are above the previous trading range. We are holding over here the support. So we have two possible setups based on statistical edge. And to use statistic, you can use two simple, I would say, softwares. Well, not simple. One at Edge to Trade, and in this case, we're working on giving also on the for all the retailers the possibility to back test many solutions. Otherwise, you simply have to code this into Python. Have, for example, data. Okay, you can ask me about the data according to futures or stocks if you want Polygon or whatever, and have more precise backtest system. Because, for example, TradingView for backtesting is not really the best. You will have some lags. For example, it's much better NinjaTrader. Okay. So over here, this bar is exactly where we take the long play. And again, you can see once we get in over here, that's the exit. So in this case, we have a move from 430 all the way up. And this is exactly, what you want to look for. So what we did that day was simply trade this, buying at 433. And you can see in this case, the system, what we are saying, this is the entry that we also learned in that room. Or as I said, the template will tell you buy it. This is the stop. So we're risking 2 points. 2 points, as we said before, this is 1 hour. Now we're looking for at least 4 hour to exit the first 33%. So 434 more or less, 438. Okay, so we got a little bit out beyond 2 hour, but this is, let's say, 2 hour. We got out 30%. Then over here, because this was a huge resistance, we got out another 30%. And then we got out more. We trailed over here another 30%. So we were left like a 10% more or less. And this was again at 4 plus R. So this setup came, for example, from 433 to 443. You want to know trading options. So that's how the traders that have a, let's say, a small account, not a 2, 3, 400K account, can trade, for example, something like Tesla or buying the ETF TSL. The price now it changes every day, but let's say the price is going to be around 15, 20 bucks. Okay, that price of TSL, and TSLL moves exactly like Tesla. Okay, so TSLL is the ETF on Tesla. If Tesla goes up, TSL will follow every single push to the upside. So it moves the same. Or you trade options. In this case, you trade calls and you buy, for example, 440. You want to know how much this gives, I would say, in terms of percentage. If, let's say, the underlying stock, so let's say if Tesla goes up to 3%, now I don't remember the day how much it gave. Depends from the day, from the time decay, from the price and the Greeks. But these generally can move on a big move like that between 50 and 300% in the morning. So imagine you have 1K, you can make double, triple, even 4 times the money that you put, according again to which strike you take, to which expiration you take. But that's the power of options. And you don't need a lot of money. Generally, to buy an option will be between, let's say, knowing Tesla, between 300 and 900 bucks, and you can buy one contract. So when I say that you can make 3 times more, means that you invest, for example, 900 bucks and you can make 2,700 in the morning. What is the double sword? All this is at your risk. Okay. So that's the reason why I always suggest you first start very, very small with the stocks. And then we are a little bit better, where you have more confidence, more consistency, you go into options. For example, I prefer options, not because I have a bigger account or a smaller account, but simply because I'm very used to them. And when I was trading Italian market and I was 19, I didn't have a big portfolio, I didn't have like a big account. I had small money that I worked the summer for. After the first account blew up, I then retraded it with starting with 8K. The time was euro, of course, and I moved them beyond the first, I would say, 6 months beyond 200K, and that was incredible. And I even put the bank statement of this. And this trading options, which in Italy are cover warrants. Okay, so the amount of profit in terms of percent that you can have from options is incredible. But They're a little bit more risky. So let's go now into some other setups that I really want to show you on Tesla because everybody's like going crazy this Tesla. This was another day, okay? So when the price over here failed, I'm not going to trade this. But first of all, before I traded, it was asking me, and let me see if I can get it over here. Mark. Well, Mark is asking me over here, Jay, for today's question, how would you identify and trade an FFT? Everything is very easy when we trade a long play, a bullish play. You know, price goes over here, you buy, look over here. Price goes over here, you buy, make money, easy. But fuck, what about the days where you lose like your really like your shirt because this was another day, the 23rd, you go long over here and this goes down, let's say 5, 6, 10%. Or maybe you took an option that loses 50, 60, 70% in a day. So, as I said before, the system that we made, it looks into the doesn't predicts but adapts because nothing predicts. The module over here can tell you what setup can be, but then only when the setup is coming, it will give you the confirmation. Okay. So it's about executing the process. And the opposite setup of this is what we call this. So this is a on the over. This is an FFT. FFT stays for failed follow through. So follow through means when the price goes up, okay? And I'm talking, for the newbies, fail to goes up. So it's a short play. So that morning we were over here. You can see the price pops, okay? You see over here pops. So we're a little bit far from the green. When it comes down will be the green, but being that the bars are red, you're not short, you're not longing. Okay, you don't long with bars red. Instead, what gave you over here the system? The system gave us a short play because when this moment came, when this bar was forming, exactly over here, it was written FFT. So practically short or buy puts. Again, a short play comes over here and you can trade all the way down, go 6 points. The option, I think that morning gave like 80%, sorry, yeah, 70 to 80% of return. So you put, let's say, 1,000, you make 800 bucks, 700 bucks on that fail. Okay. And we're talking about 60 to 90 minutes of work. That's the opposite. How you can recognize, Mark, for example, told me an FFT. Three major things. So, what is a reversal? How you can find a reversal? First, happens in first 5 50 minutes. Best first 5 minutes. So you have a two breakout of the high of day, then fail below, generally VWAP or JLINES. Three, big selling pressure. So you can see over here, now we're going to talk about the volume. This is one of the most important things. This over here, okay, it's all red. That means that the amount of sellers on this bar is entirely red. That means that all the participants over here, or the majority of the participants over here, to be more precise, are selling, I would say, big time versus the buyers. So buyers are stuck, sellers are in control. We always say like supply and demand, okay? Supply is who's selling over here. Supply is in control. And you can see that then the price comes all the way down. And then I want to share with you instead what happens. So the price then goes over here to the hourly J lines. And every day we are on Tesla, okay? Every day we're trading live this and with so many trades, even over here at the Academy. So this is the day after. And why we are considering over here? Because you didn't tell me, Jay, this was not a gap up. This was still below over here, the 9 and 20 EMA, but that was the demand zone of the hourly J lines over here. So that morning over here, okay, just before the gate, they start pushing. We had the bar just before the open. Once it broke over here, that was the long play. Again, where's the last exit? 9 and 20 over here, EMA fail. And we can go on and we can look for another play over here, okay? We can look for another play over here. For example, this is on the 1st of October, a few days ago. This was a massive trade. for the room. And again, I want to explain why we are looking for this. First of all, you have to look for the three major catalysts. This is the previous trading range. So we're talking about this. Okay. So this range is the previous trading range. So this is the high, this is the low. When we had the play over here, 930, okay? 930 over here, breaking this high, okay? So we're gonna make a line over here. So we're gonna make this, okay? Once we broke this line, this is the long entry because it tells me we are above the previous trading range. Remember before we spoke about previous trading range, so gap up, bounce also over here from the 1920 EMA, and also could be, or the hourly JLINES, and also can be a strong catalyst. Let's say we were talking about Trump, but could be anything else, FOMC, PMI news, and so on. So the data generally. And that's the play we took. So again, over here, we're not like really, thinking, should we take the trade? No, the trade over here came and we need to trade it. That's the entry. That's the risk. Then you can see the price still holds the J line. So over here gives you a second opportunity to enter long. And then again, where's the first exit over here? The 920 EMA. But from here, from the entry till here, for example, we go up like something like 13 points, 14 points. And then this still continues to go. This was a massive move that day. This, for example, was on the second, filled all the way down. So you can see that the system tells you before even to start a day, I'm not looking to trade long. This bar is already red. The previous bar over here is like already a doji. We are below the VWAP. Okay, let's go short. So again, you can see how the price tells you short. Again, you can enter on those plays and you can take all the unwind. The last day of Tesla, I'm going to share this because we're talking about the market that is going up, okay? But imagine now you're not anymore 2025 bullish market or 2024, 2020. Imagine you are 2021, 22, or part of the 23. Market was a shit. Shit for the bull traders, shit not for the short sellers. So you know that if you're a newbie, and a lot of traders still don't know, that you can short the market, okay? So is you can speculate on the downside. You're not buying, you are taking a short, and then you have to cover your short, okay? So the play is just opposite. If before we're looking for this play long, okay, so we're long and over here, this is called on the over, what is going to be the opposite? Or the 50 that we covered before. But if we are below this, remember, hourly J lines, we're going to look for an over under. So over, under, okay? And in this case, you can see what? The bars are red. We are below the 9 and 20. You can see over here, this is the 9 and 20 EMA. Before it was green, now it's red. Okay, that's already telling me I'm not going to long it. I'm not going to short it. And then you go into a shorter time frame. So again, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 50 minutes have to be aligned. Now, for, I would say, a reason of space into the screen, I'm just sharing the 5 minute chart, but you should have the 3 minutes or the one, then the 5 minutes and 15 minutes because they blend all together. So it's like to say you have a confirmation from three different sources that is going to be a good trade. All right. So you have more statistical data. When the first bar over here gets red, that's your short play. It's so easy. It's so easy, so simple to do it. And that was your short. And you know what happened? All the way down over here. Now, this went, guys, from 440 all the way down to 416. And if you miss the first play, you can still re-enter over here the J-lines at this point. Now I want to share with you what option gave. We're going to go on Tesla. We're going to go on options. So just to show you the difference, we're going to show Tesla over here. And sorry, we're going to look for the 10th expiration, October on options. Now, option expire every week on Friday, besides SPX, which is different. So imagine that these are called weekly options. And the option that we were trading, for example, on Friday already expired because that was the 3rd. Okay, so you'll see over here the 3rd October. But let's say we were looking at the 10th. So we're looking for example of 425 puts over here. This is exactly the performance that you would do trading options. So it went from $7 until $17. So we're talking about something like, I'm talking to the top, 130%. So while Tesla went down that amount, the option over here came up 132%. The expiration that we had instead on Friday 3rd gave much more because it was just like before expiration. So they go like crazy. They're called lock to plays. So they really can go 2, 3, 400% on moves like this. And that's the play. So you will simply buy over here one contract for $700 and sell it over here for $1,600. Of course, when you have the possibility to buy more contracts, you will sell one at 2R, one at 4R, and the remaining let them to go. Okay, we never know this is going to be the top. But this is exactly how option system work. Okay. Okay, I'm going to explain over here some of the questions that I'm receiving. First of all, good morning, buddy. Um, the algo apply, I use always the extended trading hours. So when you're trading, let's say I'm trading, this was coin, okay? This was coin. This is an example. You see over here, this was not at 9:30, this was 9:30, okay? This was 9:30 over here on Friday. So the system tells you to buy the first bar. We took partial of this, it came up, and over here we had the stop break even. What happened the day before? This was the move. So we buy over here, 355. It came up, all out, and I'd enter over here, and it went all up. And you can see that all these setups are generated after 9:30. If you're trading the pre-market, unless you have an earning play, it's not going to work because you don't have liquidity. So you can trade, for example, USD. Okay. So of course, when it's like trending like over here. So you're going to look for those days on, for example, USD, where you have over here, this is the open of, this is the data that we had. So you can see the play over here, the 1920 EMA on the hourly, the short play, and then all the way down. Or you can trade on Bitcoin the same way. So this, for example, was the play that we had on the 4th of October. So you can see over here, this is the market. This is the early market for US traders. Came over here. You can see the dip, right, into 1920, the first long over here, the second long, the third long with the JLINES. And then again over here. Okay, so when it gets to the 1920 EMA, when the system breaks, you have a long play over here, 1040 New York time, and then it goes all the way up. So you can see that works on different assets. Same as you can do, for example, on NQ. This was an NQ on Friday. Okay, you look for 1920 EMA, it's all red, and then you start taking your trade. Yeah, does it work on gold, on futures, and more? I started before trading the US market on European futures. At the same time, I was trading yes and NQ with NinjaTrader. Also, guys, we are partners with NinjaTrader since a long time. So in case you need an affiliate link, we're working with them, very closely. It was one of my first brokers that I had on futures, I think, like from 20 years ago. More questions over here. Where can I get JLINES indicator? Okay, so as I was saying, for everybody over here on the website, Jtrader.join, we have the blueprint. So you simply receive the whole system with forecast, with indicators, with this also confluence over here. This over here on top will tell you if the trend is bullish or bearish. When it's all red, I'm going to short it. When it's all green, I'm going to long it. You want to receive still the arrows, okay? So the bots plays, because this is something that we worked for more than 2 years. This we're gonna give through an alert trading system. So let's see more questions. If you want to trade using these guidelines, simply join the room. We have a free trial. Okay, so you join the room where I sent the link before. Free trial, you can apply. You have 1 week free, you can see, and then you can join the room and simply trade with us because I have screen share for 90 minutes in the morning, and I'm also there for from 7 o'clock till 12 p.m. New York time. So yeah, the EMAs for the hourly chart, this one over here is a 72 and 89. Okay. So for example, with this indicator over here, I can set all the time frames that I want, and it's a 7289. This other over here is a 9 and 20. You just need those two, but this red one is, I don't use it, it's a 50 MA, but this is 9 and 20, and this is 7289. I don't use 4 hour chart. I use daily, and I use the hourly. For example, on daily, some of the stocks that we trade in most were these. RGTI, I mean, this went, guys, more than 200% in about 1 month. We trade in QBTS a lot. You can see the dip over here. And then if you look at the hourly chart, this was fantastic. These are the longest plays that we're taking in the room. So some of these, okay, you can see over here. Look at what happened on the, you see over here the band. The band is exactly to 9 and 20 on the hourly. Look what happened over here on the 5 minutes. The green print, that's your long play. And over here we were 26 and something. Now it's 32. How many setups we have? So I'm gonna write we have per long, under over, and J-line curl. And also when we have a long play, we can have a reversal play. So you have to take in count FFT because the system auto generates these. And as I said, per short, we have over under, J-line rejection, and reverse 50. So fake breakdown and push. So that's a trap. So we're taking very few setups based on backtesting results. Yeah, yes, Marvin, exactly. I was talking about before. No, the bots are going to be delivered through a Telegram and Discord. Okay, so it's going to be something more for who wants just the alerts. Otherwise, the system already gives with forecast the setup to trade at the open, and with the rules, you know how to trail. Oh, thank you. Nick is a great trader, is a friend of us. And yeah, the exact rule playbook you can find on the website under jtrader.co. So if you go over here, I'm gonna write this in the chat. So you can see jtrader.co, then you go join. This is a blueprint, but also over here you can take a free trial. Okay. Yeah, Nick says great trader. He came also over here in Italy. I had the pleasure to meet him. He's a friend, very talented. So he has a lot to, he wants to accomplish a lot, and I believe he's going to do it. I like, traders that like him put every effort. And we're talking about this case, guys. Nick is a trader that started from, from the basis, and, is working his way up to really like a great success. Thank you, Ronnie. Good morning, Francisco. Does your system work for a trader working on 1 4 hour time frame, or even for an investor in a longer time? So you're talking about swing. Yes. Like in this case, buddy, for example, some of the stock that we traded the most this year were PLTR. Okay. I'm going to share with you what is the swing behavior. So you see this day. So you will have a list of stocks that we trade. Every morning, I'm going to put the list of the stock to trade. You see that this is the range of the 17th. Okay, this was the 17th of September, I believe. So this day in pre-market, this is the open. We are above the previous trading range. Already the system tells us we can long it. This is the play that we buy in intraday, and then we like to exit intraday. But if you take first swing, you enter over here in your last exit over here after a couple of days. So yes, it works also on the 1 hour chart. I don't like the 4 hours only because I miss so much potential entry with the 4 hours versus the 1 hour. For example, the 4 hours will give me the entry at 10 o'clock. The 1 hour will give me the entry at 9 o'clock. In this case, I get in like 7, 8 points before. Okay. I received another questions over here. I'm reading from the DMs that I have. So one trader was asking about MU. Okay. So this day we traded this, okay, and this was a trader for 5 figures of some of the guys that we have in the room, and also um, the guy that went over 1 million over here, and why we had this play. Okay, I want to share with you the breakdown and how we can find. So when I'm scanning for the stocks, I'm scanning a list of around 40, 50 stocks. The most usual, the most important stocks. Then every single morning, we go into this app that is called over here, Trade. And if I go over here on the right, you will see now large caps. So every day, these are the large caps. So you can see that I have stocks between $3 and 1,000, more than 900 million market cap. So we will also consider mid caps. Relative volume is super important. So you want to see that has higher than two relative volume. Otherwise, it doesn't simply work. Volume pre-market above 200K, 2% change on the day, and above daily 9 EMA, and also 21 EMA above the 50 EMA. If you need this, ask me, send me a DM, and we'll send you. As this, I will find the extra stocks that are not on my list. For example, I have on my list every single day AMD, Amazon, BA, BABA, BTCT, Coin, DGT, and so on. But let's say I don't have Plug. I don't have QBT. I don't have BLDP. So that day, I will look then over here on Plug. We put it, for example, on Plug. And Plug will, this is the last day, okay, the third. Plug will tell me, hey, you know what, Jay? We have a gap up this morning. Okay, I start looking at the gap. What is the news? It's very strong. Okay, the system is giving me over here long play. That's the long play that we had. You can see over here the green bar right away. And then in case if I get out, I have a second entry and I take my position. So this is the way that we do it. It's very, very base rule. Georgie, okay, reach out, buddy. Okay, beautiful. If you have Python, I love that. Polygon with data, I would think you have. Reach out in DM. Maybe you can also be helpful. If you want to join the room, we can also look at some things together. Okay, so we're talking about MU. And the reason why we had this is because we had a consolidation every single day bouncing over here. So the first day, look, the system generated an entry over here. In this case, not with the YOTA over here. This is the YOTA. This is called Diablo. This is the entry. The second day over here, we were still that day and we don't have any play. Okay. The third day, you can see that we are breaking that range. This is the previous trading high. So above the trading range. Imagine again, this is the previous trading range high. Once we break over here, so once we break this point, that is the long play that we had. You see this green bar? That's a long play. And this came from 169 till 180, 179 before it gives the exit. Of course, this can be a swing because you enter over here at 169 and this you're still in at 187. You see it never broke and closed below this hourly 9 and 20 EMA. Okay. As Jay is asking, is there a specific reason to use 5 minutes than 1 hour? Yes, because it's like I always make these strange, say, confluence things. Let's say your friend tells you, marry the girl, she's beautiful. Your mom tells you, marry the girl, she's beautiful. You also think I should marry the girl, she's beautiful. Somebody else, I don't know, the priest tells you, marry the girl, like she won't betray you, whatever. You have a confluence for 4 or 5 people. And the same thing over here. If I use only 1 hour, I will have information only 1 hour. So it's late. But if I can break down that 1 hour and then also have another person over here, the mom, the sister, the priest, your friend, they tell you, you know what? All the 4 times over here are giving also the entry together with that 1 hour. Let me enter on these 4 time frames. But then if I have a swing, for example, I can trail with the 90-20 EMA band and not looking for the 90-20 EMA band on the 1 5 minute chart. You know? So I just like extra confirmation. And when you're in trading, You need that extra confirmation because the more confirmation you have, the less stress you will be and the better you will manage your position. The traders that I met during the years, and I met traders who lost everything, traders who blew up. I also blew up. Trader who made millions. Lance is a good friend of mine. I mean, everybody, you know, needs something that gives them so much conviction in trading, and everybody finds this different form. For my way, this is what I seen has been working, and for the trader that I've been mentoring. So this said is not that everybody that will follow this system will make seven figures. That depends from you. It's like I tell you, I teach you how to play soccer, football, but not everybody's gonna become a fucking Lionel Messi, or like Cristiano Ronaldo. Maybe you'll become like a Serie B Italian soccer, also good, making money, but never like a 10-figure traders, whatever. So that depends upon you. Uh, What's the latest you enter a position? How short before? No, generally. But because I live in Europe, my wife is from Denver, Colorado. My mom is from New York, but I live in Europe. So New York closes 10 p.m. by me. I have my baby daughter 15 months. When it gets like 1 p.m. East, I close over here. I only follow from the phone, but I don't trade unless I swing. And so I would say the last day trades I take maximum at 11:30 New York time. What do you do when you work on a 5 and 1 minute chart and have multiple possible trades on different stocks? Do you filter them? Yes, you have to, because otherwise you'll see this list: AMD, Coin, Hood, Nvidia, Oracle, PLTR, SMCI, Tesla, were all the plays that we are having these days. And it's impossible. It's impossible to take them all. And also, if you dig them all, then you won't manage them all unless you have an automated system doing this for you. And that's the reason why we're creating this automated system that also I'm still looking to connect that to a broker. So I want to connect it to interactive brokers and or to Cobra. So that's where the Pro Cobra is, one of the brokers that we use, and we've been partnering with them since ever. So that gets all automated. But let's say talking without automation, I would say you have to look for those stocks that in the first 5 minutes give you the best opportunity. So they give you the best gap up play, they have the stronger catalyst, and they have the better, I would say, pattern formation. Because the why sometimes is like, I will trade six stocks and then I go nuts. So one or two stocks for me is the most that I can, three that I can manage very good and trade very good. Maybe I can enter four, but then I won't be trading maybe one good. I won't pay attention to the tape, to the flow, to the manipulation, and I need to see that go. So I would say one or two stocks. Good morning, Jeremy. You ever turn PM data off on hourly 10-minute chart for me? Yes, buddy. I did it. And I can tell you that I had very good results. So sometimes the pattern seems like cleaner. You're totally right with that. Sometimes seems like it's everything more aligned. I think was looking at the last day QBTS and PLTR. So it's like a brand new fresh chart. And like in this case, gets better the JLINES. But also I can tell you that I like that pre-market information because when I have the breakout of the pre-market, often gives me that confirmation that the trade now that starts is going to be very strong. What I mean, if I have this is pre-market and this is the open, you will see only the open, but you don't know that over here we have a pre-market resistance. So once I break this and then I have something like this, and maybe over here also JLINES, that's for me another factor to add to the position, like we did on the QBT before, like over here, that we enter. And then once we see that break of the pre-market and pushing from that pre-market high, which was this, okay, let me add even more. Without the intraday data, so the pre-market would say, sorry, I wouldn't be able to see this. This doesn't mean it's wrong what you're doing. If that works for you, it's totally fine. I had some very good results. Not back testing it because I didn't back test it, but I watched it for several days, several, I would say, months, but it's just like not how I keep my charts. Uh, it's true that it helps to see the gaps easier. Absolutely, like over here, I see the gap easier. It's true. But what do I have over here? Every single morning, if I look at a template, it will tell me if I'm outside or inside the previous trading range. So what I do is simply check all of these like this. And when I see it, it will tell me inside or outside, just, at 9:20, 9:15, 9 o'clock. So I have that data over here. But visually, I totally agree with you. SJ, as a decent supply and demand trader, what would you say is the learning curve like? First, I would say start trading small until you are confident. Second is not only trading supply and demand area, I would say the total arsenal that you need because you're looking for, let's say, demand area here. We know that if the price tomorrow comes down and goes over here, you can have your demand. But that information alone, knowing over here is demand area, is not sufficient. So I'm looking at what the system is telling me. That's my confirmation. And the system keeps tracks of the liquidity. So the bars over here, the order flow, and then the setup. Because over here, it's easy to say, oh, it gets over here, it will reject and come down. Okay, what are the other confluence, the other confirmation that the 190 will be the top ceiling and then I can short? Okay, so if it's supply and demand, I love it, is where everybody starts. But then I think it's just like, your base that you have to build something more. And that where it comes into, I would say, a system. Okay, guys, uh, we did like, 1 hour over here. I hope you like this. For everybody that wants to know more, you can join the free trial, see 1 week with your own eyes, or simply join the room right away. Join at jtrader.co. I'm going to make other of these. We have another trader that is not doing 6 figures, 7 figures, but for example, is making already a very good 5 figures and is having like a 60% win rate. So I want to go over that like in a couple of weeks. I hope he's going to be also with me in the podcast. That will be very, very cool. So if he wants to join the podcast, I will love that. And who also wants to come to trade over here with us in Italy, we have an academy. Often we have between 5 and 20 traders, depends from the people that want to join. But reach out for the next, I would say, the next dates. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend and see you next time. Thank you.